back of the thigh. The extent of the back of the thigh from the lower border, that is from the gluteal fold above up to the upper border of the popliteal fossa. So the back of the thigh roof is formed by the deep fossa of the thigh, and the floor is formed by vastus lateralis in the lateral aspect out by lateral intermuscular septum, and the medially there is adductor magnus muscle. So what are the contents of the back of the thigh? It contains the hamstring muscles. Those are long head of the biceps, semi-tendinosus, semi-membranosus, and the ischial part of the adductor magnus. So these are the contents, and also there is another muscle is there just deeper aspect of the long head of the bicep, that is short head of the biceps, that takes origin from the femur itself, from the lateral aspect of the linea aspera. The short head of biceps takes origin. Now what are the other structures? That is sciatic nerve. It comes downwards from the gluteal region, just in the deeper aspect of the long head of the biceps, and then just above the popliteal fossa divides into tibial component and common peroneal component. And another nerve is there, that is posterior femoral cutaneous nerve. It also coming from the gluteal region. It goes superficial to the long head of the biceps, and ultimately in the popliteal fossa region it pierces the deep fossa and comes in superficial fossa and connects with the sural nerve. So these are the structures, and you can see in the cadaver there are tweaks to the hamstring muscles from the tibial component of the sciatic nerve. Okay, so hamstring muscles are all supplied by the tibial component of the sciatic nerve. And back of the thigh is also known as the flexure compartment of the thigh. And so what are the criteria for hamstring muscle? Let us discuss. So there are 4 criteria are there for hamstring muscles. So first criteria is they should be originated from the ischial tuberosity, okay, of ischium in the hip bone. They should be originated from the ischial tuberosity. So you can see here, this is one larger view of ischial tuberosity. There is an upper quadrangular part and lower triangular part. So in the upper quadrangular part, again divided into 2 parts, that is the superolateral and inferomedial part. From the superolateral part, we will get the origin of semi-membranosus muscle. From the inferomedial part, we will get the origin of the semi-tendinosus and the long head of biceps. That is the conjoint origin from here. And the other 2 muscles, that is the adductor magnus. The other muscle, that is adductor magnus, it also originated from the ischial tuberosity. So this is the first criteria. The hamstring muscle should be take origin from the ischial tuberosity. And the second criteria is the insertion should be beyond the knee joint, that is in the tibia or fibula or the both bones. That is the second point. And the third point is all the hamstring muscles should be supplied by medial division of the sciatic nerve, that is the tibial component of the sciatic nerve. And so hamstring muscles should be originated from the ischial tuberosity. And the second criteria is it should be inserted beyond the knee joint, that is in the tibia or fibula or in the both bones. And another point is it should be supplied by tibial component of the sciatic nerve, that is from the medial part of the sciatic nerve. All muscles of the hamstring group should get innervation. And the next criteria is they are primarily flexure of the knee joint and extension of the hip joint. So if these 4 criteria are fulfilled, then those muscles are hamstring muscles. But in these 4 muscles, that is semi-tendinosus, semi-membranosus, adductor longus, and then long head of biceps and adductor magnus. These 4 muscles, only 2 muscles are fulfilling all the 4 criteria of the hamstring muscle. Those are semi-membranosus and semi-tendinosus. So those are the true hamstring muscles, and modified hamstrings are adductor magnus and long head of the biceps femoris. So why are they modified? Because long head of the biceps femoris primarily is originated from the sacrum. Then it is shifted to the ischial tuberosity later on. And this part from the origin up to the shifted part, this part is modified and forms a sacrotuberous ligament. So long head of biceps, for this reason it is a modified hamstring because its primitive origin is in the sacrum. And in case of adductor magnus, it's inserted primarily in the tibia, in the medial condyle of the tibia, but later on insertion displaced in the adductor tubercle of the femur. So it is not beyond knee joint. So it is not fulfilling the criteria for true hamstring muscles. So adductor long head of biceps and the adductor magnus both are modified hamstring muscles. Okay, so we will get the hamstring muscles here, and in the deeper aspect of the hamstring muscle we will get short head of the biceps. This one is short head of the biceps, and in between the long head and the short head of the biceps we will get the sciatic nerve that descends downwards from the gluteal region. Okay, descends vertically downward, and then it divides into tibial component in the medial side and common peroneal component in the lateral side. We will also get this nerve, that is the posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, and we will also get the anastomotic chain of the arteries, that is profunda femoris anastomotic chain of profunda femoris artery will get in the undersurface of the adductor magnus muscle. So these are the content of back of the thigh. So let us see those in the cadaver. So let us discuss about the different structure in the cadaver. So what will be the incision point in the back of the thigh? It will be one transverse incision junction of the upper 2/3 and lower upper 1/3 and lower 2/3 of the thigh. Another transverse incision in the junction of the upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of the thigh. These two transverse incision we take the midpoint, join the midpoint by one vertical incision, and then reflect a skin flap medially and laterally. So you can see here, this is tensor fascia lata, this fibrous structure. So this muscle is vastus lateralis, that is in covered of lateral intermuscular septum, and the other part here there is adductor magnus muscle that is forming the other part of the floor of the back of the thigh, vastus lateralis and adductor magnus medial. Now what are the contents? We can see this is ischial tuberosity here. So this one is long head of the biceps. This one is semitendinosus. Okay, it's going in the tibia. It's long head of the biceps. This one is semimembranosus. See the membrane-like upper part of the muscle, and this is fleshy part, semimembranosus. And here there is adductor magnus muscle. I will show you afterwards. Now you can see just in the deeper aspect of the long head of the biceps, there is short head of biceps muscle. This muscle is short head of the biceps. Okay, it takes origin from the femur only, lateral border of the linea aspera, and you can see the sciatic nerve going in the deeper aspect of the long head of the biceps muscle and goes downwards within the long and short head of the biceps, and above the popliteal fossa divides into tibial component and common peroneal component. Okay, from this medial aspect of the sciatic nerve, it gives the muscular branches to the hamstring muscles. Okay, and we can see this one is the another content of the back of the thigh, that is the posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, goes within the back of the thigh, then above in the popliteal fossa region it pierces the deep fossa and comes in the superficial direction. Now we see from that side medial aspect, we can see this is semitendinosus, this is semimembranosus, and you can see this opening here. This is the popliteal vessels coming out. So femoral vessels coming through the fifth osteoaponeuritic opening of the adductor magnus muscle. This one is position for fifth osteoaponeuritic opening. So here is the site for arterial anastomotic sites in the adductor magnus muscle. So this is the site for arterial anastomosis. You can see some arteries here also, just like. Okay, so these are the arterial anastomotic site. You can see one anastomotic channel is there. So that's all for back of the thigh. Thank you.